Hello, hello, hello. Here we are. Queen Mother Speaks every Wednesday.
Todo este parte de un plan. Esto es matarte con flow animal. Esto es para convertirte en fan. Muévete al ritmo del bam, bidi bam. Bam, bidi bam, bidi bidi bam, bam.
All right, and hello to you. This is Queen Mother, and this is Queen Mother Speaks. Every Wednesday, every week, we're coming on live at 5 p.m. All right, God, there's so much I want to say to you today. We have a great show planned for you. We're going to complete with the tribute to Sahai Farrell. We are expecting others in the studio to give their words of who this woman was to them. And I, too, Queen Mother, will share on who Sahai was to her. Then we're going to have Mr. Nixon come to us today and speak to us some things about technology and crops and farming and agriculture. And you know, a lot of us don't understand that. But the brother's going to break it down for us today. We are still in the month of Black History, and we will be showcasing a few Black History pioneers on the show today. We are also expecting our co-host, Rakaya, to come in. Nana will not be with us today, as you know. Nana's just had a new grandbaby, so she is right now on leave, and we wish her well and very well. I want to say to you that our theme. Okay, I'm hearing an echo, so someone has to put their phone on mute. Please put your
Can you hear
phones
me well?
on mute. Okay, so our theme at this time is recommitting to good health as the foundation on which to build a life, a community and economy. Do me in 2023. So we're talking about gym and vigor and well-being and a balanced life. That's what we're speaking about in terms of recommitting to good health. Okay. So what are you going to do for yourself this year to stimulate stability in your life? That's the message of our theme for this year. Rise up, united nation of men and women. And we would like for you, let's see, here's somebody coming in the studio. We'll add to the stream. Okay. So we have four of us in the studio now. Effiok, you can turn on your camera. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, Ernestine. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Good
Very
morning.
good.
Good
We're all here.
afternoon. Good evening.
Okay. We must put our phones on mute or silence. Otherwise, we're getting a very loud echo.
Okay, I need to just
Actually, 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 the echo is coming from you, Queen.
I don't have anything here. I don't have a radio on. I don't have a phone. All I have is being in studio right now. So what could I do to make it go away? Like I said, I don't have a phone. I don't have radio. No electronics other than the computer and being into the studio right now. Any ideas for me?
Are we all muted?
We are live.
I'm saying, are we all muted? Because I think FO would probably not be muted.
Okay, well let me just go back and say who we are. So right now we're going to talk about we've talked about who's on the show. Let me give the people in the studio an opportunity to say hello. Okay, Effiok's camera is off. And his
Yes.
Okay, looks like his sound is also. Can you hear us, Effiok?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, but we're not seeing you on video. So if you can
I
get the
don't
video
have
on,
access
that
to
would
the
be great.
I don't have access to the password for the camera.
There is no
I tried.
password. You only have one password, which is the code I gave you, but you have to read and then you have to click.
The
This is why
password
we
to the
came to the
computer
studio
camera on this
earlier,
side.
so we don't do this live. So we are going to have to go ahead and go into the show for now. Okay, we have two people who's off camera right now, who is Effiok and Mr. Nixon. We do have Ernestine on camera. Ernestine, you can say hello to
Good
the
morning, Ernestine.
studio
Good morning,
guest.
everyone. Good morning, everyone, wherever you are.
Nixon, you want to say hello?
Yeah, good morning, good evening, everyone, wherever they are, and welcome to this program today. Thank you.
And Effiok, you want to speak to us?
Hi, Abdi. Habari gani, everybody?
Oh,
Very
very
nice.
nice.
Good to see everybody.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, we're going to go back to one screen. So this is part of who we're expecting in studio today. And we're going to go back to one screen right now. And we're just going to talk a little bit more about what's going to be happening. So I invite you to get relaxed and ready for this awesome show. Be sure to hit the like, share, and comment button. If this is your first time tuning into Queen Mother Speaks, we are very happy that you're here. And we recognize that you could be doing anything and you can actually be anywhere. And we thank you for being, this is your where today. Thank you for tuning in to Queen Mother Speaks. Okay, we have men, women, and youth that have very innovative product and services, and we showcase them from time to time. Plus, we do special edition shows as we're having in the month of February for Black History Month. All right, so please go into the chat room and tell us who you are, where you're from. All right, and share and like and comment the Queen Mother Speak show. All right, I'd like to give shout outs to our faithful fans out of Atlanta, Georgia today. We have Lady Mo tuning in, Abimbola, Tina Jones, Ernestine, there's Carmen, Michelle, Sass, Stephanie, and Melissa. Thank you again for tuning in to Queen Mother's.
So you're saying there's another Ernestine in Atlanta?
I'd like to give a happy birthday shout out to all of the February born people. Indeed, there is. And we want to give a shout out to all of our people tuning in from the West Coast. You know, they have to get up earlier into video. And of course, you see Ernestine is here. Okay, in Pingo, Councilman Farrell, Red, Adisa, and Kwashi. All right, from Northern California, we call the place San Francisco. We're happy to have tuning in Tashmia, Nyla, Hakika, and Samantha, all from South San Francisco. Tell me, who's rocking your world right now? So send us names and guests of people you would like to see on the show. Okay? Now, Queen Mother would like to ask you to continue to wash your hands, stay safe, be alert. This is Queen Mother Speaks. We are a safe space for inspiration and expression. And there is a new platform called Bonga Dada Bonga that you can tune into on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Just go to facebook.com/Bonga Dada Bonga. You can also go to YouTube for Bonga Dada Bonga. So what is this thing that we call Queen Mother Speaks? It is a platform for wealthy, conversations that matter. We seek to inform, to advise, to ignite. You know, we want to raise your awareness, educate. We want you to laugh on the show. And we also bring in guests. And we do witty and wonderful dialogue with our guests. Okay, and then we give you news on newsworthy events. And we also do a meditation. Okay, but we won't be doing the meditation today, given the number of guests we have in studio with us today. I've got a few more mentions. I want to make hello to Shero and the girls from Dubai, Dr. Willie Butler, Louisiana, Professor Gaskins, Ohio, and I want to say hello to Brother Chess and my goddaughter Lila from New York City. Okay, so now we're going to turn our attention to Black history facts and information about pioneers. And I see that our co-host is not in, so I'm going to go ahead and present that for you. Black history is an annual observance which originated in the United States. And let me just take a moment again and say I am absolutely sorry for the. I don't know where it's coming from. Okay, I don't even have my phone in this room. No radio. You know, no, I don't have any electronics right now. And I can't explain where it's coming from. I wish I knew. When I have some of the guests speaking, what I'll seek to do is go take a look and see where the echo may be coming from. So again, Black history is an annual observance originating in the United States. It's also known as African History Month. It has received official recognition from governments, as well as in the United States and Canada. More recently, we find people in Ireland and the UK also celebrating Black History Month. And the significance of Black History Month is to remember important people and events in the history of the African diaspora. The dates for Black history are February 1 through March 1 every year, and today it has been observed for over 53 years. I'm getting a message from our co-host. Let me see if I can sort her out for a moment. Just stay right there. We'll see if we can get this. I'm trying. She's asking for the studio link. So I'm trying to post it to her, and it is not happening. Okay, so we'll just go back into the show. So some of the Black history facts, we want to tell you that Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall was the first African American ever appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court. And he was appointed by President Lyndon B. Johnson. And he served on the court from 1967 to 1991. George Washington Carver, a scientist, he developed over 300 derivative products from the peanut. And among them, we found things like cheese, soaps, milk, coffee, flour, dyes, plastics, wood stains, medicinal oils, and cosmetics. Another Black history fact. Mildred and Richard Loving. They were one of the first interracial couples who were legally married in the United States, and their union marked a pivotal moment in marriage rights for mixed race families. Okay, so those are the Black history factoids for you today. And now we're going to go and speak about our Black history pioneers. I want to try one more time. Yeah, I want to try one more time to see if I can give a message over to our co-host. She's trying to make it into the studio, and well, let's see one more time. Okay, it did paste that time. Let's see if she'll be able to get in. I'm going to come back with you. All right. So now, we want to talk briefly about a few Black History Pioneers, and then our next guest will be none other than Mr. Nixon. Henrietta Lacks, 1920 through 1951. Okay, looks like I think our co-host is making it into the studio. Let's see if we can add her. Turn on your mic.
Good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing? Queen?
All right, so we've already started the show. We're happy to have you, Coach. And we're at the section now where we're talking about the Black History Pioneers. And if you have the information on the one and only Miss Henrietta Lacks, you can start there.
Good morning. Henrietta Lacks. After being diagnosed with cervical cancer at the Johns Hopkins Hospital in 1951, a sample of Lacks' cancer were taken without her consent by a researcher. And though she succumbed to the disease at the age of 31, that same year her cells would go on to advance medical research for years to come, as they had the unique ability to double every 20 to 24 hours. They have been used to test the effects of radiation and poisons, to study the human genome, to learn more about how viruses work, and played a crucial role in the development of the polio vaccine. Johns Hopkins said in 2017, Oprah starred in the executive produced HBO's The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, adapted from the book by Rebecca Sloop. Gordon
Okay,
Park.
thank you for that. Well, before we go to another, there is a Sabrina Harrison seeking to come into the studio. Please ask her to turn on her mic cam, and I can add her to the screen. But right now, she's not connected, so I can't bring her in. So for Miss Sabrina Harrison. Okay, to speak further on a Black History Pioneer, I'd like to tell you about a gentleman by the name of Gordon Park. Born in 1912 and until 2006. Now, Mr. Parks was the first African-American photographer on the staff of Life magazine. It's been a major magazine throughout the years, the decades, the centuries, and he was the first Black to be hired by Life magazine. Later on, we have to find the magazine called Essence. He was also the first Black writer and producer, director of a film during the Blaxploitation era, and the name of that film was called Shaft. Anybody in the house know anything about Shaft? Anybody in the house know anything about the movie Shaft?
Anything about what?
Shaft. Shaft. Well, Gordon Parks.
Know anything about what?
Shaft, the movie Shaft. Remember the movie Shaft?
No.
So what we're stating and talking about Black History Pioneers is that Mr. Gordon Parks was the director for that movie, and during the day of Shaft, it was a hot one. Okay.
You mean the
Coach?
movie that Isaac Hayes was in?
Isaac Hayes did the movie, did the music. Gordon Parks was the director.
Oh, Gordon Parks.
Coach?
It's my turn.
Jane Bolin.
I have the distinct pleasure of introducing to you all Jane Bolin, born in 1908 and died in 2007. A pioneer in law. Jane Bolin was the first Black woman to attend Yale Law School in 1931. In 1939, she became the first Black female judge in the United States. One of the significant contributions throughout her career was working with private employers to hire people based on their skills as opposed to discriminating against them because of their race. She served on the boards of the NAACP, Child Welfare League of America, and the Neighborhood Children's Center. Back to you, Queen.
Thank you. I have two videos I wanted to show to you today. I wonder if that's what's causing the echo. And if I click them off, I won't be able to show them.
Show the videos, please.
Well, we'll see. We'll see when we get there. All right, we'll leave them up, which means we'll be. I don't know if that's where the echo is coming from, but we'll go on talking about our next Black History Pioneer, Mr. Alvin Ailey. And I would like to say to you that I had the distinct honor and pleasure of not only knowing Alvin Ailey, I did have one summer where I danced, with his ensemble.
Oh,
So I have great, feel good right now being able to introduce Alvin Ailey, who is a Black pioneer. What? He was an acclaimed dancer and choreographer who earned global recognition for his impact in modern dance. He honed his career in dancing and studying at the Lester Horton studio. And after Lester Horton moved on, then Alvin Ailey picked up from there and continued to choreograph his own ballets and works, which are very different from traditional pieces. Okay. In 1958, he did a piece that was called Revelations. And many of you may have seen it. It's been in theaters throughout the world. But Alvin Ailey was the producer and choreographer of a lot of those dances. He even opened the doors for a lot of African Americans in dance and theater to perform overseas. Okay. So that is of Mr. Alvin Ailey. We're going to now move from our Black History Pioneers. Do you have something to say?
Dr. Nava, yes. I think it's worth mentioning that because someone might consider it a coincidence, at that very moment that you were speaking of Alvin Ailey, I was picking up a program with Alvin Ailey dances. I was just picking it up at the moment that you spoke, a picture of dancers from Alvin Ailey. So I think that's quite significant.
Wow, very powerful. Yeah, that's very appropriate. And what else is also very appropriate is that, as Coach just told us about Jane Bolin, who was the first Black woman to attend Yale Law School and become the first female Black judge. Isn't it interesting that we're now living in the time where we're seeing our first U.S. Supreme Court justice female?
What I also wanted to add about the Alvin Ailey production is that it has become an institution. It's been produced over 50 something years, and it is an established form of art form of dancing that everyone looks forward to seeing while it tours around the United States of America and abroad. And abroad. So it is very held in high esteem, and an art form of the African American experience in America.
All right, very well. Very well. We're going to continue with the show. Next, we want, now, I don't know if you got a, did you get any information on Mr. Nixon, Coach, or do you want me to get his
I have
information?
everything. I have everything.
Okay, very good. So go ahead and introduce him. And he's on the screen now. You can see him.
My brother, greetings. I introduce to you Nixon Mageka Shero. He's a
Yeah.
technology data and public policy expert
Before we
with
move on, let's make certain that we
multidisciplinary
pronounce his
skill
name
set and over 15 years of experience in developing, implementing development projects for both governments and international organizations, focusing on the use of emerging technologies to address developmental challenges in agriculture. He has demonstrated history of working in the field of digital agriculture strategies and digital innovation capabilities in developing countries. He is currently Senior Program Officer, Digital Solution and Systems for Agriculture at AGRA, AGRA acronym. Nixon most recently served as a member of the Universal Service Advisory Council of the Communication Authority of Kenya, advising on the use of Universal Service Fund in spreading ICTs to the undeserved and unserved areas of the Republic of Kenya. He has worked as a lead agriculture consultant for United Nations ITU /FAO on the development of national agriculture policy and strategy for the Republic of Benin that included a broad and meaningful engagement across government policy and tech sector communities. He has previously advised the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries on ICT, uptaking agriculture. He has also provided strategic program design and technical consulting to organizations like ITU and GIZ. Nixon has also worked as ICT for Agri with TechnoServe East Africa prior to being a consultant. Nixon worked as a chief ICT officer for the Commission on Administrative Justice, also known as the Omnibus Man. I introduce to you Mr. Nixon. Welcome, Mr. Nixon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me and for the elaborate introduction that you've done. I am glad to be here and I'm glad to share with you my knowledge and my experience with working with smallholder farmers in Africa.
Okay. Very good. I want to say, Nixon, Happy New Year to you. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy life. And welcome to the Queen Mother Speaks show. Now, are you on a moving vehicle?
I am on a moving vehicle.
Wow.
Technology, right? Technology.
Technology, yes. Technology.
Okay, before we go
So
further, let's make sure that we're pronouncing your name properly.
if you see me shaking, then you know that the road is also not very even.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay. So
But not to
I got a
worry,
few questions for you.
I am okay with that. I'm okay with that, and that
I
can
am not
change.
happy with this echo. I think I'm going to release these videos I wanted to show. I don't know that this is going to come up, but I really am really not happy. Let me just ask to see if you can even hear this. Can you guys hear this? Let's just see.
Yes.
I can hear it. I can hear it.
Okay. Can you hear that? Okay. Okay, we'll pause it. I won't, maybe that's what's causing the echo. Okay. But one of my first questions for you, Nixon, is to tell us briefly about your growing up in Kenya and what led you to the IT field. Nixon?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'll ask the question again. I wanted you to tell
Yeah,
us
please.
a little bit about your growing up in Kenya and what led you to the technology field.
Yeah, indeed. Growing up in a part of Kenya that is Nyanza, known as Nyanza, um, wasn't as easy as many of you can imagine. Um, Grew up with father, mother, and some 5 siblings in the family. And one of the things that and I think my parents were very passionate about education, and they made sure that we all went to school to get the necessary education that we needed to be able to face the world, really.
Mhm.
So my journey with technology started when I was admitted at the university. I studied information technology at the university, and I went on to graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. Right then, I started working as an intern in a regional body in the East Africa community, and then worked as a junior consultant in the same organization before going back to school to do my master's in communication management. So after my master's in communication management, I then took up a job with the government as the chief um, um, ICT officer for the Commission on Administration Justice, which is called Ombudsman. And from then, my passion for technology just grew. I think one of the things that I would say about technology is that I'm impressed by the fact that how technology can bring people together. A good example is what we're having now. I think we have people sitting in, if I got you right, Queen Mother, people sitting in New York, people sitting in all parts of the world. But you can see, with just a click of a button, all of us can be in one conference and we can be talking to each other.
Wow.
And the marvel of technology. And as you know, during COVID-19, from 2000 up to about sometime last year, because of limited contact between people, the technology became a critical channel for communication. And this actually expounds why I'm fascinated about technology, and my interest about technology is how it shrinks the world. It shrinks the world and makes it so small that I could almost think that I'm actually sitting next to all of you, yet I'm so far, driving in the deep side of Kenya. Yet we can be seeing each other, talking to each other like we are almost in one room.
Interesting, interesting. Tell me about your specialty. Okay,
Yeah.
it's
So.
like what people have been calling and asking me. Let me just say,
Mm.
what is How is it that he got to do something like this? It's like your area is so specialized, yet it's so needed and necessary. People are asking me how, because I posted your bio online, and people are saying, how did he get to do this? So, what led you to being able to bring in the digital side of technology into dealing with agriculture? How did that come about?
Yeah, so like I said, I started my career in government. And one of the things I was doing was really, with ombudsman services, really looking at what technology would help the citizen get, government service with a little, with the lowest cost, yet even not have to travel from where they are just to ask for that service where they are. So technology became a very important tool for us to develop, portals where people can actually seek government services and bring all these government services to one portal so that people are able to, wherever they are, access some of these services, whether they needed passport, whether they needed to get an ID, whether they needed to get any services from government. How do you bring them close to the people? Is actually through technology, so that they can go to a site, a website, a portal, and get all these kind of services that they needed. So when we did that, I then transited to advise the Minister of Agriculture on technology. And that's where the aspect of Agriculture came in, because I thought, how do we help our smallholder farmers get information at the right time, and without, which is not costly, but also get it at the right time. So that drove me to get this, as being an advisor to the minister, developing tools around how do we register our farmers, so that the government then starts looking at how do they distribute input to the farmers through technology. After that, I transited to then working with the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, that is headquartered in Italy. But basically, what I was doing now was in terms of getting some of the services that are needed by the farmers to the farmers, what we could actually refer to as the last mile delivery for smallholder farmers. You must understand that smallholder farmers in Africa face a lot of challenges as a way of their pinpoint. So there are so many pain points that they need that need to be addressed. Some of them include access to finance, access to input, and so forth and so on. And so with this, then try to work with partners who are in technology space to see how do we address issues of farmers getting the right inputs at the right time. Sorry. Yeah, and how do we get to that space where that our smallholder farmers then are benefiting from technology, and especially, sorry, I'm just dropping out of the car.
Okay.
I'm just dropping out of the car.
Was
So
that?
how do we get to a point where our smallholder farmers are actually benefiting from technology? Because one of the things that we are actually suffering in Africa, and thanks to the northern continent, is climate change. So how do we mitigate climate change for farmers? It's by the use of technology that will tell our farmers early warning system about weather, early warning system about shocks like drought, shocks like low rain, shocks like floods. So that is what I drive, to give smallholder farmers low-cost technology that will help them mitigate the dangers of climate change, mitigate the dangers of low yield for farmers. Yeah, those are some of the interventions that I work in.
Okay. Are they, what is the result of some of those interventions?
Mr. Nixon, after
Yes.
entering the field and years of
Happy to see you
experience,
too.
how did you get to this specialized area of agriculture, IT? Explain to us. What I want to know for the children is what did you study in at the university level, and I'm sure math is included, to prepare you for this position?
Well, one of the things that in my university level, I took, like I said, a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. So at the study of how do we use information technology tools to be able to help, solve everyday's problems. So think about technology like internet, which brings people together, makes people communicate, and so forth and so on. Think about technologies like, cell phones, which I'm using now as I work to communicate with you. Think about technologies like, simple technologies like even emails that I can actually type some words and click and it goes. And I was fascinated by the fact that if in the generation, and most of you are in this generation where you had to write a letter and wait for it to be read, maybe posted for 2 weeks and to be read and then come back and so forth and so on, and and most of you maybe at those generation also, you had a boyfriend, a girlfriend, where you wanted instant delivery of the letter, and they were taking too long and you're wondering what was happening. So for me, it's a fascination of technology to speed out these processes where I can actually get instant information, instant reply to what my request, and so forth and so on. I can go now to WhatsApp, text you, and you text me back. And I can actually tell whether you read my WhatsApp messages, So that is the technology you're talking about. And that, when I was in school, was something that fascinated me. But then I wanted to say, how do we transfer the same knowledge to the people who feed us? Those are the farmers, the people who feed me and you. Because I can tell you without any iota of a doubt that we live to eat. I know that at the basis of all of you seated here, you must have eaten something today, right? So how do we support those people who are providing for us that food to give them technology that will help them grow better for us, improve the standard and the quality of the food that we eat? Because again, we know that food is also related to the many sicknesses that we see around, cancer and so forth and so on. So how do we help them, grow quality food, grow food that is enough for you and me? Because another problem that we are facing is the population of the world keeps growing, and that means more mouths to feed. So how do we help these smallholder farmers, and especially in Africa, most of these farmers are smallholder farmers who have very bare minimum, income. How do we help them with simple technology then that can help them to keep growing using technology, which will tell them that at this time it is safe to grow because we expect rain, and at this time it's not safe to grow because the rains will be short. So those kind of information are very critical for our farmers.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot said. Again,
And I believe
apologize for
I
the
believe
echo.
that we lost him. We lost him.
Well, he's like Effiat. He went off camera, but perhaps he'll come back in. But I want to say to
What?
our viewing audience that I will have Mr. Nixon back on the show again. I'm not happy about this echo. And he says it might be coming from my end, but I find no, it has to be from the videos because I don't have a phone or a video or any kind of electricity here.
Mr. Nixon,
Yeah, so I'm here. I'm here.
continue,
Yes.
continue,
Yeah. So
continue.
when you look at even the average age of our farmers nowadays, including in America, the average age of a farmer is about 60, some going to 70, some going down. If it's very young, it's 50. It's 50. So the question that I grapple with every day is that how do I bring the youth into farming? How do I make it attractive for them to go into agriculture? One of the ways that they will only go into agriculture is not when they can hold a hoe or a djembe, as we call it here, but how do we leverage technology to attract the youth into agriculture and also tell them that agriculture is as any other work that they can start earning from, so one of the things that we are working around is helping the youth to now get into agriculture using technology. They will get into agriculture, but not using the old system that our fathers used, but technology that then will give them the amps to do agriculture differently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nixon, I'm going to have you back on the show again because I'm not happy with the echo that we're getting. And you're giving us some very important information. And on the very end there about young people, how do we get them interested in agriculture? We really do want to hear about that. It's not only just for the youth in Africa, but also
Right.
the youth in America, but definitely the youth in Africa, of which many of them do have land. But at some point in their lives, they may come to the understanding of how blessed they are to have land.
Right.
Everybody thinks that the grass is greener on the other side.
True.
And sometimes you have to remember, sometimes it takes you becoming older, getting a little wisdom, a little maturity before you can understand the benefits and values of some of the things you have. Once again, let me apologize, Nixon. And we will have you back on the show again.
That's fine. That's fine with me. That's fine with me.
All right, thank you for that. I now want to turn my attention to Hi S.B. Farrell, a dear friend of ours, and we started with her tribute on last week, and we're going to continue with it this week. We do have both Effiok and Miss Ernestine. Both of them, like myself, are friends of Stein. And they just want to say a few words about her right now. Ernestine?
Yes. Jen, good morning, afternoon, evening, night. So first, I want to thank Dashanaba for inventing this platform for us to express. Sahara S.B. Farrell was a very dear friend who has impacted my life in such tremendous ways. And even though she's been gone now, about a year and a half, yes, I'll never stop missing her. She filled my life so that I could think of no better way to pay tribute to her and acknowledge her other than in her own words today from her book, Woven into the Fabric, where she recognized it first. She said, first, I wish to thank the voice inside me for guiding me through my life and this entire 21-year journey of writing Woven into the Fabric, which is, in my words, an extraordinary book. And she takes the time to thank those who helped her. Though she first said, I thank Adina Mesler, my writing teacher, for coaching the writer out of me in the most amazing ways. I thank the women of my Woven into the Fabric Premier Book Club, Dr. Barbara Rose, Ernestine Henning, Mpingo Griffin, Yeneva Sase Sagbe, Ange Rush, Maisha Hayes. In the summer of 2007, we spent uh, 4 hours per session for 4 consecutive Tuesdays, total of 16 hours, discussing an early draft of the manuscript. You kept connections and insights. Thank you for comments about the story, encouraging me at a time when my confidence was waning. I thank each of my friends who cozied up on my living room couch to hear me read chapters aloud. I thank you for your encouragement and your confidence that one day Woven would be a book. I thank you, Dashanava King, for being a faithful friend. To Barbara and Ernestine, my dear friends, I thank you both for reviewing the final manuscript and giving me your valuable input. And as we all think, those of us who are friends of Sahai, and along with me, I'm sure I want to thank God for you, our Sahai, for being an irreplaceable friend and confidant, for bringing together extraordinary people that we are, Dashanava. The name that you call more and woven, you have woven us together, those that became friends through you. You're woven together by a spirit of Sahai that enriches our lives. And because of that, we are Sahai. And those are my words of acknowledgement to her.
Oh,
That is
beautiful.
okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that, Ernestine. Okay, so we're going to stay full screen now. And Fiat, tell us about your meeting
Yes.
of Sahai. And if you can put your
Can you all
screen
hear
on,
me real well?
I can see you.
Can you
Are
hear me
you
real
talking to
well?
me, Queen?
Yes, we hear you.
Am I
Okay.
doing the presentation?
No, he's just speaking now about his friend Sahai.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
Okay. And paying tribute to Sahai this morning, we are celebrating a life which is one of the best in us, one of the best people we have produced, I'd say, in the last 100 years. Let me give you a little bit more insight about Sahai. She was a very, very special person. Back in ancient times, she would be one that you would say she could walk on water. In talking about walking on water, I'm not talking about walking on water per se, but the ability to expand your mind beyond its limits. We're talking about miracles, magic, enchantment, or just to expand your creativity in the moment for a purpose. Sister Sahai is the face of love, enchantment, and justice in our family and community. This posture shaped her life and legacy. For Sahai, when her heart is in something, it's on, and it's on beyond the sky. as the limit. Her early influence was by great writers like Octavia Butler and Toni Morrison. As a matter of fact, I didn't know about these two great writers until she introduced them to me. And both of these writers were grounded in our culture. Sahai went to Stanford University. While at Stanford, they discovered her ability to go beyond the known human limits to discover things. Her talents to move resources across different worlds, virtual or physical, with ease. When they needed extraordinary resources, she would take trips to somewhere in the outer edge of worlds, domains, dimensions, universe beyond the metaverse. She could bring back valuable nuggets to stimulate amazing discovery at the edge of human know how. By the time Sahai graduated from Stanford, her professors were very much impressed by her intellectual abilities. Her life work was centered around agency and sovereignty. She dealt with a lot of human interaction, the art of negotiating difficult conversations within enduring issues such as race tyranny, and race hegemony. While she was at Stanford, she won a trip as Miss Words. And on that trip, she went to Africa. And that trip was much of a metaphor for the return of Africans who had been in the diaspora for centuries. She left us with two books. The first one, Transformation of Race, which is out of print now, but if you can find a used copy, it would be a good thing to get a hold of. A used copy of the book tour at one time went up to $4,000 for just one copy. That tells you what value the world had put on that book. Her second book, Woven into the Fabric of Our Lives, is another great book that talks about enchantment, her life by way of another. One of the things she impressed on me was that we as a people have always been here throughout human the history of humanity. We are still whole. Our encounter with Europeans is just a speck in the realm of human historical time. I encourage all of us to read her book and find the nugget that she left us. Thank you.
All right, very good. Very good words. We are nearing the closing hour for Queen Mother Speaks today. And I'll just say a few words, but in my heart, this echo and all of this other things that are going on is not the way we want it. So at some point, Miss Ernestine and Mr. Effiok, I'm going to try to get us back in the studio because I wanted this recording to be such that it can be used in the classroom to talk about this great woman. And unfortunately, we have the echo, so we'll see what we can do to make that different. What I'll say is I met Sahai in the summer of 1974. We were both living in a place called Los Angeles, Hollywood, California. When I was on my way to Africa for the very first time, and the, shall I say, the originator or the promoter, if you will, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Don King, was having the boxing match in Zaire. And I was going there to be a part of that celebration. So Mr. Don King brought on Sahai, who talked with me and the other girls who were now being the beauty queens going to Africa for the first time. Because she had visited 5 African countries before, and Don had brought her on as a consultant to talk to us and work with us and have us be ready as young African women entering into the motherland for the very first time. So she was very instrumental in giving us information about traveling to Africa, what type of clothes to take, clothes not to take, perfumes, deodorants, lotions, those types of things. She was very good at telling us what won't work in these warm environments here. And she also was on board with the Don King Productions to make sure that we got our visas and our passports or whatever we needed to travel into Africa for the very first time. Upon our return to America, I was very happy to look her up, and all of us were happy to we'll come back to her and talk about our experience in Africa. She also attended UCLA, my alma mater, and we would often get together and talk about UCLA. In fact, she had wanted to go to medical school. That was one of her plans, to go to medical school. All right, but she spent time doing other things and didn't get off into the medicine. But she is one of the most, I don't even know how to say this, but I'll just say it. The sister definitely was touched by God. She had a way when you had something going on in your life. She had a way of being able to sit you down. And she would do a thing that she called a treatment. Okay, she was a very spiritual woman. And sometimes just being in her presence. And you talk about whatever it is that was going on with you. She just had a way with words and a way to calm you down and a way to get you connected to your own God with what was going on in your life. In addition to being an excellent writer, she was very good at being with people and allowing people to just be. But when you had some things going on, you had a way of allowing you to look at it as a psychologist in your own way. And so I'm just very happy to Mr. Don King introducing me to Sahai. And she and I, of course, became friends for life. And one good day, she was able to say, I do. A very handsome fellow by the name of Bob Farrell. Bob Farrell was a councilman in Los Angeles. And then a few years after that, along came a bundle of joy. And we call that bundle of joy Kunjit, the baby girl. Okay. And Kunjit by now has produced for us a grandchild. And that was the joy of Sahai's life, being with her grandson. She enjoyed being with her friends. She enjoyed writing. I loved our walks on the beach. But she had, of course, a special love for the grandson. And I think we all do. We go crazy when our grandchildren show up. And she sure did. Okay, so we thank God for her. We'll be talking more about her throughout the years and throughout the time, okay, as we go on. But she is a great, great woman who's now joined the ancestral realm. And we want to do everything we can to make sure that history doesn't forget her. So Ernestine and Effion, when you didn't get to meet her, Coach, but you would love her. Okay. So I want us to come together at another time off there and talk about what we want to do to keep her legacy alive. Okay, and a lot of it will have to do with the great book that she's written. And by the way, this book is now used in classrooms. It's used in classrooms. This book shared another book called Transformation of Race. And we will do a whole show, or 2 or 3, just on transformation of race. Okay, and you'll get to see what a deep thinker she is from the Transformation of Race book. All right, I want to again apologize for what we're getting here. Okay, and what we're getting here is this echo that's coming throughout. I am not going to play those videos because of the timing. And I will put together what we call a special edition show. And so we'll show those videos. We'll come back with our comments and get a good piece that we can share. Okay? All right, again, we've run over time. All right. Coach, if you want to give us a few announcements.
Okay, everyone, the link will be listed on the videos on the page. Soul Vegetarian Restaurant, phone number 0742-654-810. Cooking classes are available. Lucille's Kitchen, sweet potato pie, and other mouth-watering treats. Call 0732-567-327. Bonga da da bonga. Bonga da da bonga. Tomorrow, Thursday, at 7 p.m. New York City time. Eastern Standard Time. Kenya time, 11 a.m. Click on facebook.com/bonga.
The timing of that is exactly the opposite, Coach. It will be 7 p.m. in Kenya and 11 a.m. New York time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I apologize. 11 a.m. New York City time, Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Kenya time. Miss Aisha Dafala, Kenya's blood ambassador, reminds you to please visit Depository Bank near you and donate blood. Kenya needs it. Syria needs it. Morocco needs it. New York City needs it. The global world needs it, especially in Ukraine. The enlightenment of discipline practices that strengthen our ability to weather challenges. The link will be posted. Diabetes Peer Support Group, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time. Virtual Zoom. Contact 346-244-7887. And I want to note here, and my plea is that prayerfully, most African Americans will wake up from the dream or whatever fog is over their minds to understand, to come to the realization of the relationship of food and the genesis of all diseases. I wanted to do the peer support yesterday. Google was giving me a hard time. All kinds of things was going on. And by the way, I'm traveling, and I really appreciated Dr. Nixon. I'm going to call him Dr. Dixon because he's onto some amazing things as it pertains to agriculture and involving the youth and us relearning to appreciate the value of the land. I believe that a lot of us don't understand what it is to own a piece of land and what that means towards the sustainability of life. And then we don't understand the correlation and relationship between food and what it does to our bodies. That's a whole 10-week project, or 3, 4, 5, 10 years. However, we do have a class in which you are getting free information in how to combat diabetes, cardiovascular, upper respiratory diseases, all the diseases of the body, as at a peer support group meeting every Tuesday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York City time. And I am urging all of us to put whatever it is that we're doing, put aside, and join us at this peer support so that we can begin to reverse the diseases that's already there and to prevent the onset of any disease. I'm telling you, to prevent the onset of any disease. Is that possible? I say to you that it is.
All right.
The next thing that is really important is the breathing. And the Art of Living program, Institute program, begins Tuesday the 21st. It began, right? It began yesterday, and it ends, yes, Thursday the 23rd. Tisha Shreya Shah. The timing was 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And the venue is the Zenariah Portico Lower Kabidi. The phone number is 0729-130-556. And I want to tell you that Shreya Shah was on our show several weeks ago, and she taught us the straw breathing technique. And I highly recommend that if you are able to get into her class, that we all need to be in her class for the next few years. She teaches you how to, by breathing, you control your mind. And by controlling your mind, you're able to control your thoughts. And by the way, people, our thoughts is what gets us in trouble. Back to you, Queen Mother. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that. We know that it's still early morning for Miss Ernestine out in Los Angeles, California. But we thank you, Ernestine, for joining us.
Yes.
We know that it takes effort to get up and be on air and be dressed and ready at 6 a.m. So we thank you for that.
Here. Thank you.
Yeah, we thank you for that. Coach, we thank you once again for being our co-host on the Queen Mother Speak show. There's a few other things we want to say, but I won't say them. What I will say is next week, we're going to have a special coming up from the Sankofa Elders. Next week, the Sankofa Elders will be in the house. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's two very handsome Black men, Pan-Africanists, who's lived in Africa, both of them, over 20, 30 years, and been responsible for writing a lot of the policy and rules and laws and regulations that many of the African countries are now using. So I'll be very happy to bring them on, and they come on Queen Mother Speaks and do segments, as you know, from time to time.
Queen Mother, I have one. Sister Ernestine, perhaps you can forward that tribute to Queen Mother, and we can post it on, I don't know if you want to, maybe it's private, but if we can post it so that everyone will be able to really, or send it through email to really vibrate and meditate on those words that you have written in her honor. I would appreciate a copy.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, and I think those will be good pieces to be inside of the video that we're creating about tonight.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So once again, thank you again for tuning into Queen Mother Speaks. We won't go into the credits, but we are going to blow a kiss into the world because we believe that love is the most healing force in the universe. No matter what's going on in your life,
Yes.
all you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. And now we're going to give you some of that.
Yes.
All you need is love.
It is love.
We're going to do that. Oh, wait. We want to do it together. Left hand, right hand, both hands. Are we ready? Left hand, right hand, both hands. Come on, guys. Left hand. Left hand. Okay. Right hand. And now we're going to blow you a kiss with both of our hands. And I'm going to ask the ladies in the studio to close their eyes and really go down into their heart. And as we send out this last kiss of love, we pray that when it reaches you, that it becomes a healing force. Put it anywhere you want on your body. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. This is Queen Mother Speaks. Every Wednesday, every week, live